Welcome everybody to the Survivor Bros podcast. I am Brennan, joined as always by my brother Tanner, and we just got back from a great Thanksgiving break. We apologize for the lack of content in the last few days, but we are enjoying some quality time with friends and family. But we are back to recap the 10th episode of Survivor 43. Tanner, how are you doing, and what did you think of this episode of Survivor?
I'm doing pretty good, Brennan. It was nice to have a Thanksgiving with you and get to actually watch the Survivor episode with you live for the first time in a while. We got to have our little commentary as we were actually watching the episode, which was pretty cool. And this was
Yep.
one of those episodes where you just want to scream at the TV the whole time. I was totally excited. This was like an epic Shakespearean story for Noelle. It had highs and lows. Ultimately, it ended in tragedy for her, but that reward challenge was just so fantastic to watch. And of course, Jesse had us like completely on the edge of our seats. We both thought that he was about to go home, and we'll talk
hmm
about why. But it was an exciting episode. It was an epic blindside. And now we're into Christmas time. You can see I got some new decorations behind me. But yeah, it was a good Thanksgiving break. Of course, apologize for the lack of content, but yeah, it's good to get back into it.
Yeah, definitely good to get back into it, and it was a great time watching the episode with you. The first time we've gotten to do that all season, I believe.
Hmm.
So that was a good time. We kind of had our podcast already during the episode, giving our thoughts. So
Yeah.
this was a repeat. But yeah, it was a great episode, and I guess we got to start with that challenge. I mean, one of the best challenge performances I've ever seen. We were all rooting for her. I remember you saying, "Dude, there's no way Noelle wins, but if she wins, that's got to be the greatest thing ever." And we're all
Hmm.
pulling for her. Oh, God, I mean, because when she first started struggling with the balance beam, I was like, how is she gonna do this? There's no way. Like literally, I didn't think it was physically possible. And so you see her struggling over and over again. There's tears coming down her face. It was so tough to watch, but she kept persevering, and she kept trying, and she eventually got it. Everyone else is cheering for her. They're all saying, "Go, yeah, go Noelle." She steps up, almost gets it on the first throw, and on the second throw, she nails it. What everyone else was struggling with. How many throws did everyone else throw? And they only a few of them even got close. I mean, that was really tough. So, I mean, it was a great, all in all, I think one of the best challenge performances we've ever seen on Survivor.
Yeah, those people were all struggling on that throwing, and I remember Carla had it on and off a few times. But it was so amazing to see Noelle get that. Like you said, I had no idea that she was going to be able to pull it off. I remember initially when she started to fall behind on that balance beam, and those tears started coming, I was like, I almost started tearing up too. I felt so empathetic to her, and I almost like couldn't even watch the challenge. I was like, oh man, this sucks. I just hope that she can somehow pull it through, and if she can win, that would be amazing. But I was only half serious when I said that. I really didn't think that that was going to be the outcome of this challenge, and it was, and that just makes it that much more amazing. And this is really up there. I think this is better than Christian versus Alec. I think it's up there with the Suri balance beam moment. This is one of those all-time challenge moments that in future seasons of Survivor, when we have an epic challenge, people are going to be like, "Oh, well, that's not as good as that moment with Noelle here at the final eight." And even though she did go home, I felt like having that moment for her was enough of a victory to sort of numb the pain of getting voted out. So honestly, when Tribal came and the votes were read, I was frankly satisfied with Noelle going. I thought that she had an amazing story and she was a hero. She's a hero outside of the game, and she certainly was a hero inside of the game. And she had a good game, a solid game strategically as well. We saw how Jesse was talking about how she was always able to get a number one. Right after they blindsided her other number one, she always bounced back. She came back stronger than ever. And ultimately, the other castaways realized just can't take someone that visibly strong in so many ways to the end. And so she really had to go home. And I was fine with it because I was so nervous when Carla's name came up. I was so nervous that she would go home with an idol. But this was like a very tight bottleneck episode, I feel like, for her. And now that she's sort of squeezed through there, she has a much more opened up game, and she could really take this end game by the reins. Same with Jesse, even more so, with two idols and that amazing blindside, which I did not think was going to work out for him. I thought he was setting himself up for a major fall from grace, but that's not what happened. He pulled that off successfully with Cody, who's also playing well. So everyone who's left in the game is playing amazing. And yeah, this was Noel's episode, but I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah, Noelle, she Noelle definitely had her moments, and she played a really great game, too good that she had to get voted out. She was too big of a threat. But yeah, I think her impact was definitely left on the game, and I think she inspired a lot of people out there, 100%. So, and I think she got what, Suri music?
Yeah, she got the hero music at the end, which was pretty
Yeah.
nice.
So I
But
think yes.
let's go back to night 17 on Gaia, where we're starting out this episode, and Carla is mad at Sammy because he left her out. He was going to leave her out of the boat until like 10 minutes before tribal council. And I feel like this is one of those rare instances where we're seeing Sammy's age start to show, because I feel like he really didn't plan that through enough. And he's playing sort of recklessly. He's trying to play all sides. We actually see Jesse comment on this to Noel at the beginning of this episode, which
Yep.
foreshadows his later blindside checklist. Um, but he says that that Sammy's trying to play every angle, and you gotta watch out for that, which is true. And I think that Sammy's in a little bit of trouble right now. Where do you think Sammy stands going into this final seven now, after Noel is gone?
Yeah, I don't know about Sammy because I think it is really his style of play is starting to really come up and bite him a little bit. People are starting to see that, oh, he's playing all sides. He's untrustworthy. He's a flip-flopper. And he said he didn't want to be a flip-flopper in this episode, but even though I was like, no, I don't trust him at all. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure where he's gonna go. I'm not sure. I don't know who. It's starting to be like I don't know who he beats at the end because he has made people mad, but he hasn't been like this controlling person in the game who's controlled everything. I think I kind of see him getting carried to the end almost
Mm-hmm.
and losing to like a Carla or a Jesse or a Cassidy. Because I just don't know who he would beat. Maybe he'd probably beat Gabler. Maybe. Gabler could beat him. Gabler's been playing really well. He loses to Cody, I think. Jesse, Carla, Cassidy. He could beat
Yeah, I mean,
Owen. He
he's
probably beats Owen.
he's playing a great game, but yeah, like you said, if you look at these people who are actually left in this final seven, it's a pretty stacked group, and I don't think that Sammy would necessarily garner the votes that he needs in the end. Um, Maybe if he were to go with Jesse and Cody, then he could try to do the Laurel strategy of, if people are gonna vote Dom and Wendell, then maybe they'll split their votes between them. But I don't think that would necessarily work out for Sammy, like it didn't work out for Laurel.
Yeah,
Um,
and end up with
I
a goose egg.
Yeah, exactly. I think I think Jesse would take home the cake in that situation, but I think we could be looking at a Carla win at this point. I'm really high on Carla after this episode. She played that totally cool, but yeah, she's got those red flags going up for Sammy. Also, Carla had a great moment at the challenge where she commented on Jeff's black shirt. She was like, "Loving the black, Jeff."
Oh yeah,
I love how
yeah,
Carla has these funny moments, like these camp life moments too. She's such a great character, and she would be an even better winner.
yeah. Carla would be a great winner, no doubt about it. but I don't know. I think Cassidy might be looking like the winner here. I mean, because see, it could be Carla, but that's just not how. Like I'm just going off the edit too much, I guess. But it's just not how they've been showing the winners recently. I feel like
Hmm.
Cassidy is exactly how they've been showing the winners recently. A little
Yeah,
under
part
the
of it that
radar.
makes me think that like maybe Cassidy's a decoy winner for all the edit watchers who are thinking she's gonna be the next Erica. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one of those things I would love to see them changing the way they edit things. Like I would love to see a Jesse win. People are saying that they don't want Jesse to win because it's too obvious.
That's dumb.
I think it'd be great to see Jesse win. I
Yeah, for
love
sure.
those I love those ones where you have somebody dominating the game and the edit actually shows them dominating the game. I like it when that person wins.
Yeah, and
So
Jesse has been a strong narrator so far. He's a good character too. He's someone who we enjoy watching, even if it's just describing like a mundane moment at camp. He always has some good analogy or metaphor or whatever to go with it. I just love. I think Jesse's super endearing. I just love the way he talks, and especially with his family and stuff. I love the letters that his kids wrote to him and everything. But yeah, Cassidy is not only edit wise looking like a strong winner contender, also in the game, she is playing the silent assassin game. And I have to point out that Cassidy was the first person to say Noelle's name as a target in this episode. She was, during the reward, she was getting close with Cody. And she said that Noelle is a big threat.
yeah, we saw a little bit of that kind of threesome when they were on the split tribes with Cassidy and Jesse and Cody. And yeah, I mean, I think she said it in one of her confessionals. Everybody she's wanted to go home has gone home.
That's a great winner confessional right there.
It is. I mean, don't get me wrong. She has been playing a great game. She hasn't been like an under the radar floater grab a life vest kind of person. She's been a good player for sure, and she would be a great winner.
Yeah,
She
I
would
mean,
be.
she had that whole arc with getting her revenge on James and Ryan, which we saw her reflecting on this last episode. And then she was successful once again with taking out Noelle. And we saw Jesse commenting on his position in the game, where he was talking about how if we were to take out Carla, then that would anger Cassidy, and then we'd lose Cassidy, so obviously he wants Cassidy, which means now Jesse, Cody, and Cassidy are a little bit more solidified in my eyes. And that means that Owen and Sammy have some work to do. Because they might have Gabler flipping back to them with how we saw Gabler being a little bit suspicious of Jesse and Cody. But with Cassidy on their side, that's the whole force to be reckoned with.
So, do you think Carla and Cassidy are still like they go together no matter
Yeah, I
what?
do. Also, I think that Jesse and Carla have their own thing, so that's another bond that makes that foursome even stronger.
Definitely, yeah. Because it's if Gabler were to choose Owen and Sammy, and they could like if Carla was separated and they pulled her in, or maybe they pull in a Cassidy for because we know Gabler wants to get Jesse and Cody out, right?
Yeah,
So if it's looking like that, they only need to pull in one person. If they have Owen and Sammy for sure. So and that's one of those things. I really thought that Jesse might go home this episode, watching the episode, just because of the edit, the way he was saying that he felt so comfortable and that he was pretty much controlling everything, which he is.
hmm
Uh, it always seems like that person goes home when they get too comfortable and when they feel like they're doing everything, which they are. So are we getting set up for like an Omer situation?
See, I hope not, because remember, he has two idols, but he could play them both here at the final seven and then go home with the final six, or God forbid, he could go home with two idols, which that would take Carla and Cassidy, I think, both flipping on Cody and Jesse, which after this episode, like I said, I don't think is entirely likely. Um, I think if anything, maybe Cassidy just tries to flip, and then Carla plays. Actually, no. Carla plays her idol, and then Jesse plays the idol on him and Cody, which would keep all three of them safe. I just want three idols to get played, you know.
If
But
we
I don't
get
think
one,
that's
they
gonna
could it
happen.
could be a chain reaction. They could all come out. Could be a idol getting.
Yeah, better than being hoarded until they go home with them, which we've seen for some reason ever since Idol Get, and that's always happens. People just keep their idols, and more often than not, they go home with them. Hopefully, the season can kind of break that curse a little bit.
Definitely, yeah. And you're right. The last thing I want to see is Jesse go home with two idols in his pocket. So, is Cody gonna ask for that back or what?
I'm not sure because who was it that he was? Was it Noel that Jesse was saying that Cody already asked for the idol back?
Yeah, it was no. That was his cover story.
Yeah, okay, so I'm really not sure. I guess Cody must really trust Jesse, and Cody does seem like the kind of person where he wants one ride or die in the game who he's gonna trust with everything, and everything includes an idol, so he must really have faith in Jesse to play that idol correctly when it comes down to it. I think maybe I don't know. I mean, if he gets to the end, would it be bad for him to say that he let Jesse keep his idol? Because it is taking away agency from himself. But at the same time, it is
Yeah,
saying that I had a relationship strong enough where I was able to give someone an idol and not have them use it against me.
it is considered like a move for trust. Like you're building trust with Jesse by letting him
Hmm.
keep your idol. So Jesse knows, like, oh, this guy's 100% with me. So it is like a
Yeah.
move you could bring up to the jury.
Yeah, I still think though that if Cody and Jesse were to go to the end together, Jesse would definitely take the win there.
Yeah, I think if Jesse goes to the end, he's winning pretty
Hmm.
much. I mean,
Yeah. He's either the fallen angel or the winner, so hopefully he's the winner. But honestly, with this cast, anyone could win. That'd be fine.
li- literally anyone can win, and I don't think I'd be upset with anybody, honestly.
I feel like we haven't talked much about Owen this episode. Was he really a big presence in this episode?
He had confessionals during the reward at the when they got the letters. Um, I don't think he really had much else to do.
Oh yeah, so Noel took Sammy, Owen, and Jesse on the reward. And I noticed that that's the group besides Jesse who ends up being left out of the vote. So Jesse is able to have his cake and eat it too, 100%, because he gets taken on his reward. He gets to bond emotionally with the people who are on the bottom. He gets to see what kind of strategy they're talking about and potentially ingrain himself in that group, while also having his number one Cody back at camp, who's able to make sure that he maintains relationship with Cassidy and Carla and make sure that they're not talking badly about him. And if they were, then he would say something. And same with Gabler as well. But also Owen and Jesse had a lot of good personal content about their families at the
Hmm.
reward.
Yeah.
But Sammy really didn't. I noticed that Sammy really only seems to be talking strategy, and I'm not sure if we've gotten one of those little flashback sob story type things from Sammy, but I don't think we really have this season at all. I think Sammy has leaned a lot more on the game bot type side, and that could be a liability for him towards the end of the game.
Yeah, I mean, the more I think about it, the more it kind of seems like Sammy is like a third place, one vote finisher, maybe.
Which would be so unfortunate because he has played such a strong strategic game and
Yeah,
deserves to be recognized.
yeah, but I mean, he's 19. I think that's the biggest concern is the social ability. Like, he's like a Spence bot. Like, he can't compute emotions very well.
He is a pet cremator, I don't know.
Yeah, so, I mean, we've seen him be close with like Carla a little bit. Not really Gabler. He never really got along with Gabler. Owen a little bit. I mean, that's honestly kind of it.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, I think
yeah, go ahead.
as this game winds down, Sammy's gonna find himself in a lot of trouble because people are gonna recognize him as a strategic threat, but he's not gonna have a bond like a Sarah and Tony bond, where even though you know they're the biggest strategic threat, you still want to take them to the end just because you like them so much. He doesn't have anyone where he's really that close to. Whereas Jesse and Cody, I think, actually do have that with each other, where I think Jesse, even though he knows towards the final five and final four he's going to be seen as the biggest threat to win. He still has Cody in his corner rooting for him.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it'll come down to Cody because I think Jesse knows that he can beat Cody in the final three. I wonder if Cody is thinking the same thing, or if he thinks that Jesse is a bigger threat. Maybe Cody might try and take out Jesse here soon. What do you think the odds of that are?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Cody could pull a Gabby and get himself voted out through an idol play, but that would be pretty crazy. I think Cody is a loyal player. I think from what we've seen through his personal story and him talking about his friend and everything, I think that's relevant here. I think he sees Jesse as a very close friend, and he's going to be loyal to that friend.
Is this reminiscent of Derek and Cody from Big Brother?
I think so, actually. I think it is.
It actually really does. I mean, both players, both Codys are in their respective stereotypes, kind of. I think it
It's
kind of
true.
works out. Derek and Jesse being the masterminds.
Yeah, maybe
I,
we'll have a surprise final too, and it'll be Cody and Jesse.
I yeah. What do you think the odds of them act? Do you think we'll ever see Final Two again?
Yeah, I think we will. I think they'll decide to have it as a twist in some season. I don't know, maybe like 45 or something, maybe 50.
So how would the fire making challenge play into that? Would they do it at the final
I
three
think they'd
or?
still do the final. Uh, I'm not sure. I think they'd still do the fire making at the final four, and then they just have a standard final three where one person wins immunity and votes the last person out.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I
That would definitely throw them off.
we like those tight tribal councils with small numbers of people, right, Jeff? So bring back final twos. And it's always just sad when someone doesn't get any votes at the end, right? Like who wants to see that?
Yeah,
So
honestly,
yeah, bring back final twos.
definitely, yeah. So a lot of people didn't are did not like the Jesse list thing.
Hmm.
I, however, very much enjoyed it. Tanner, what did you think of that?
I thought it was good because it gave us a very clear outline of what Jesse was doing and helped us to understand the blindside plan that actually got unfolded at tribal council correctly. A lot of the times in Modern Survivor, the strategy can be so confusing and you never know who's with who or who's planning what. And this was a really good illustration of exactly what Jesse was doing. It became a little bit annoying. It just kind of like in your face towards the end. And I think it was a bit too long of a confessional. But if it was shortened down a little bit, like maybe they've just done like the checklist, like check, 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 instead of having him talk to people and go through that whole thing and then give him the check and all that. I actually thought that he wasn't going to get the check for the last one because he almost messed up. But yeah, it was good because he tried
Yes,
to convince Gabler to vote with them, which actually does end up working. So I guess that technically worked out. So he gets the check on that. But that almost blows up in his face because Gabler sees Noel as a hero and he has a personal relationship with Noel that he wants to keep. And so he almost uses that to get Carla to turn on Jesse and Cody, which is why we thought that we were about to see Jesse's name get written down. And why we were so suspenseful at tribal. Like we were like, oh my god, no, no.
yeah, it was definitely a fun tribal council to watch just because we really thought Jesse was gonna go home. So it was honestly pretty terrifying, but
Yeah, it
definitely
was
makes for
one
the
of those
most fun
times
ones.
and one of those few times in Modern Survivor where we actually had a really suspenseful vote reading. Like every vote came up and I was like, what?
Yeah, I was just waiting to see the J, but
Exactly.
it never showed up. So Gabler finds himself in a swing position here. The Alligabler
Mm-hmm.
is very much rising to the top of the water here. Um, why do you think he did not decide to, in fact, try and make a move against Jesse and Cody on this vote? Was it just Noel was too big of a threat, like even bigger than Jesse or anybody else?
Yeah, I
Or
think if he were to get to the final three, he would have to prove to the jury that he was not just a standard emotional like I'm gonna vote you out because I don't like you and I'm gonna keep you because I do like you type of player. So voting out Noel as someone who he thought he said multiple times was a hero inside and outside of the game, that proves to the jury that he did the necessary move because she was the biggest threat and she was going to win if she got to the end, even if she was next to him. And now he finds himself with Sammy and Owen still, who maybe need him more to make a move on, say, a Carla or a Cassidy or a Jesse or a Cody. And he's in with the group that had the majority, so they won't see him as a threat either. And like Gabler said a few episodes ago, as long as his name's not getting written down on a parchment, he's good. He's going through to the next stage. That's all that matters. So if he's able to avoid catching votes from either side, he should be solid. And he can maybe make a huge move in this next episode. We'll have to see.
yeah, definitely. And if he is the one to take out, say, Jesse, let's say they
Mm.
blindside Jesse with two idols this next week. I think that sets up a Gabler win.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see exactly how that goes down, but that would totally shock the community, including myself. But, maybe that would be cool. I don't know. I don't want to say that'd be cool because I just really don't want Jesse to go home with two idols. But
Yeah,
good for
yeah,
Gabler, I guess it would be.
that would be good for Gabler. And yeah, you're right. He is in a great position right now. I never thought I'd see the day when the Alligator was really looking like he's got a path to the end and a good chance actually. Again, I'm not sure any of those top four guys. I'm not sure he beats or those top four people. Uh, but if he finds himself next to Owen and Sammy, I think he could pull it out, and that would be
I do
pretty fun
too.
to see the original Yellow Tribal, that original look at my wrinkly toes alliance. But
That would, wow. Going back to those first few episodes, I had forgotten how much we were led to believe that those Baka men were not going to be successful. And here they are. I honestly would not be surprised if that's the final three. But that's not really the final three I want. I want to see Carla,
no.
Jesse, Cody, or Cassidy.
And that's why this season is so great. We have even the combination of final three that we'd probably least like to see. It'd be awesome to see it. I think
Exactly.
it'd be
Exactly.
awesome to see any of these people win. I mean, this cast has just proven to be so great. It really has, and the season keeps delivering.
Yeah, so we'll have to see. Who do you think is if you had to pick one most likely winner right now?
I mean, I have to go Cassidy, but I'm gonna stick with my boy Owen because I picked him on day one, and he's my ride or die. So,
Okay. I'll go with Carla.
all right, God, yeah. I mean, I'll say it again. It'd be great to see Carlo win. I'm
Absolutely.
not completely sure about the edit, but who knows? Could be changed. They're mixing it up. They said they've been mixing it up, so nobody
Mm-hmm.
thought Erica would win. Most people don't think Jesse could win. Could be the samesies, but different. Just the opposite ends.
Exactly.
All right. Well, that being said, I want to thank everybody for tuning in and listening. Um, we hope you had a good time, and we are going to be back next week to recap the 11th episode of Survivor 43. Hopefully it's a good one, and hopefully you tune in next week. But until then, keep talking Survivor, bros.